It was a bright morning. Momo the monkey and Diddi the duckling were walking to school. Momo was carrying his blue backpack. Diddi was carrying his yellow backpack. "Today will be a great day," said Diddi. "I hope so," said Momo. They walked down the road together. Suddenly, Momo saw something shiny under a tree. "Wait," he said. "What is it?" asked Diddi. Momo picked up a pencil. It was not a normal pencil. It was golden. Tiny stars were painted on it. "Wow," said Diddi. "That looks special." Momo looked around. "I don't see anyone." "Maybe somebody lost it," said Diddi. The pencil felt warm in Momo's hand. That was strange. Pencils are not warm. Momo put it in his backpack. "We can ask at school," he said. So they continued walking. At school, the teacher was teaching art. "Today," said the teacher, "everyone will draw their favorite animal." The students cheered. Momo smiled. He loved drawing. He opened his backpack. Then he saw the golden pencil again. "I'll use this one," he whispered. Diddi sat beside him. Momo began drawing. First, he drew a small fish. It was a funny fish. It had a big smile. Diddi laughed. "That fish looks silly." Suddenly, the fish moved. Momo blinked. The fish blinked back. The fish jumped right off the paper. Splash! It landed in a cup of water on the teacher's desk. Momo froze. Diddi froze. The fish swam in circles. "Did you see that?" whispered Diddi. "I did," whispered Momo. The fish jumped out of the cup. Then it bounced across the classroom. "Boing! Boing! Boing!" students screamed. "Aye! What is that?" "A fish! A flying fish!" The teacher turned around. The fish quickly hid behind a box. The teacher looked confused. "What happened?" Everyone became quiet. Momo and Diddi looked at each other. The golden pencil was glowing. Their eyes became wide. "This pencil is magic," whispered Diddi. "No way," whispered Momo. "Draw something else." Momo slowly nodded. He drew a tiny butterfly. The drawing was beautiful. A second later, the butterfly flapped its wings. Then it flew into the air. "It worked again," said Diddi. The butterfly flew around the classroom. Nobody noticed. The students were busy drawing. The butterfly landed on Diddi's head. Diddi giggled. Then Momo had an idea. "I want to know if this really works." He quickly drew an apple. Pop! A real apple appeared on the desk. Diddi nearly fell off his chair. "It is magic. It is really magic." Momo looked at the glowing pencil. His heart was beating fast. He could draw anything, anything at all. A bicycle, a dog, a cake, a toy, anything. School finally ended. Momo and Diddi ran outside. They sat under a big tree. "We have to test it," said Diddi. "Just one more time," said Momo. Momo drew an ice cream. Pop! A giant ice cream appeared. It was taller than Diddi. "Yay!" shouted Diddi. They quickly started eating. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. It was delicious, but then the giant ice cream started melting. Fast, very fast. "Momo." "What?" "It is melting." "I know, it is melting everywhere." Momo looked around. Chocolate was flowing down the road. Vanilla was covering the grass. Strawberry ice cream was sliding toward the park. "Oh no! Oh no!" Children began slipping. Dogs were licking the road. Birds were eating ice cream from trees. The whole town was becoming sticky. "We have a problem," said Diddi. "A very big problem," said Momo. Then the golden pencil began glowing brighter. Much brighter. A mysterious voice came from inside the pencil. "You have used the magic pencil." Momo and Diddi jumped. "Who said that?" asked Momo. The voice spoke again. "Every drawing comes alive, but be careful. Magic always brings surprises." The pencil suddenly stopped glowing. Everything became quiet. Momo swallowed. Diddi swallowed. Then they heard a loud sound from behind them. Roar! The ground shook. Momo slowly turned around. Diddi slowly turned around. Both of them gasped. Near the ice cream mess was a huge drawing book. It had fallen out of Momo's backpack. The book was open, and on one page, There was a giant dinosaur drawing. The dinosaur's eyes suddenly opened. Blink, blink. Momo and Diddi stood very still. The dinosaur looked at them. Then it smiled. A very big smile. "Uh-oh," said Momo. "Very big, uh-oh," said Diddi. The dinosaur pushed itself out of the drawing book. Crack! The ground shook. The dinosaur was huge. Its head was taller than the trees. Its tail was longer than a bus. People in the park stopped walking. Everyone stared. What is that? Is that a dinosaur? A real dinosaur? The dinosaur looked around. Then it sneezed. Achoo! The powerful sneeze blew hats, leaves, and balloons into the air. Diddi rolled across the grass. Momo landed in a bush. "Are you okay?" shouted Momo. "I think so," shouted Diddi. The dinosaur looked friendly. It did not seem angry. Then it saw an ice cream truck. Its eyes became wide. Grrr! It ran toward the truck. Thump, thump, thump. "Oh no!" shouted Momo. The dinosaur reached the truck. The driver screamed. But the dinosaur did not eat the truck. It ate all the ice cream. Every single ice cream. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mint, everything. The dinosaur licked its lips. The driver looked shocked. "My ice cream!" he cried. Momo covered his face. "This is bad." "This is very bad," said Diddi. Then the dinosaur saw a fountain. It became excited. It jumped into the water. Splash! Water flew everywhere. People became wet. Dogs became wet. Even birds became wet. The dinosaur happily swam in circles. "Maybe it only wants to play," said Diddi. Suddenly, crash! The dinosaur accidentally bumped into a statue. The statue fell over. People screamed. The dinosaur became scared. It ran away. Thump, 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 thump. Now it was running through town. "Oh no!" shouted Momo. "We have to stop it." "But how?" asked Diddi. Then Momo looked at the magic pencil. "I have an idea." They quickly opened the drawing book. Momo drew a giant banana. Pop! A giant banana appeared. It landed in front of the dinosaur. The dinosaur stopped. It looked at the banana. Then, chomp! It ate the banana in one bite. "That didn't help," said Diddi. The dinosaur kept running. Momo thought again. "I know." He drew a giant ball. Pop! A huge red ball appeared. The dinosaur saw it. Its eyes sparkled. It kicked the ball. Boom! The ball flew into the sky. Everyone ducked. The ball landed in a lake far away. "That didn't help either," said Diddi. The dinosaur continued running. Then it entered the town market. "Oh no," said Momo, "not the market." The dinosaur knocked over boxes of apples. It knocked over watermelons. It knocked over bananas. Fruit rolled everywhere. People slipped and slid. One man accidentally sat on a watermelon. Splat! The dinosaur looked confused. Then it sat down too. Crunch! Hundreds of bananas became banana mush. Diddi could not stop laughing. "Momo, look at its face." The dinosaur had watermelon on its nose, banana on its head, and an apple stuck to one ear. Even Momo laughed. The dinosaur looked silly, very silly. But then something strange happened. The dinosaur suddenly looked tired, very tired. It yawned. Yawn! Then it lay down in the middle of the market and fell asleep. Snore, snore, snore. Everyone became quiet. "Is it sleeping?" whispered Diddi. "I think so," whispered Momo. The town was finally peaceful. Momo smiled. "We can fix this." He took out the magic pencil. Maybe he could draw something to help. Maybe a cage, maybe a bed, maybe... The pencil suddenly became very hot. Ouch! Momo dropped it. The pencil began glowing, brighter and brighter. Then a voice came from inside. "Too many drawings. Too much magic." "What does that mean?" asked Diddi. The pencil shook. The drawing book shook. The pages began turning by themselves. Flip, 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 flip. Momo tried to close the book, but he could not. The pages kept turning faster. Then they stopped. Momo looked down. His eyes became wide. Diddi looked down. His eyes became wide too. On the open page was an old drawing. A drawing Momo had made years ago. It was a giant dragon. A very giant dragon. A very scary dragon. The dragon's eyes slowly opened, one eye, then the other. The sleeping dinosaur suddenly woke up. It looked afraid, very afraid. Then a huge shadow covered the town. The dragon began climbing out of the drawing. The giant dragon climbed out of the drawing book. Its claws touched the ground. Crack! Its wings opened. Whoosh! A strong wind blew through the town. Trees bent. Signs shook. People held onto their hats. Momo and Diddi stared at the dragon. It was even bigger than the dinosaur. Much bigger. The dragon looked down at the town. Then it opened its mouth. "Oh no," whispered Diddi. The dragon took a deep breath. Everyone ducked, but instead of fire, hundreds of bubbles flew out. Pop! 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 The sky filled with bubbles. People blinked, then laughed. "It's making bubbles!" The dragon looked confused. It tried again. It breathed harder. This time, colorful feathers flew everywhere. Red feathers, blue feathers, yellow feathers. The dragon looked angry. It wanted to breathe fire, but it could not. Momo suddenly remembered something. "I drew this dragon when I was little." "What does that mean?" asked Diddi. "I was scared of fire, so I made it breathe bubbles instead." Diddi laughed. "That is the funniest dragon ever." The dragon did not think it was funny. It stomped its feet. Boom, boom, boom. The ground shook. The dinosaur stepped forward. The dragon looked at the dinosaur. The dinosaur looked at the dragon. Everyone became silent. The two giant creatures stared at each other. Then, the dinosaur wagged its tail. The dragon blinked. The dinosaur wagged its tail again. The dragon slowly wagged its tail too. Momo smiled. "I think they want to be friends." The dinosaur happily jumped. The dragon happily jumped. Crash! A nearby fruit stand exploded into flying oranges. "Maybe not too friendly," said Diddi. The dinosaur ran around the dragon. The dragon chased the dinosaur. Soon they were playing like giant puppies. They rolled across the grass. They splashed in the fountain. They chased pigeons. The pigeons were not happy. The town, however, was becoming a mess. A very big mess. Then the dragon noticed something shiny. The magic pencil. Its eyes became wide. It walked toward the pencil. "No!" shouted Momo. The dragon picked up the pencil with two claws. The pencil glowed. The dragon became excited. Before Momo could stop it, the dragon began drawing. "Oh no," said Diddi. "Oh no," said Momo. The dragon drew a giant cake. Pop! A giant cake appeared. The dragon cheered. The dinosaur cheered. The dragon drew another cake. Pop! Then another. Pop! Then another. Pop! Soon giant cakes were everywhere. Chocolate cakes, strawberry cakes, vanilla cakes. The streets were full of cakes. The dinosaur happily ate them. The dragon happily ate them. Then the dragon drew donuts. Pop! 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 Thousands of donuts appeared. The town looked like a giant bakery. People were running everywhere. Some people were laughing. Some people were confused. One dog was carrying 6 donuts at once. Then something unexpected happened. The pencil began shaking again, very hard. The glowing became stronger, stronger, stronger. The dragon dropped it. The pencil floated into the air. Everyone stared. "What is happening now?" asked Diddi. The mysterious voice returned. "You keep using the magic. You keep making drawings alive. The magic is growing." Momo swallowed. "What happens when it grows too much?" The voice became quiet. Then it answered. "The door of drawings will open." The town became silent. "The what?" asked Diddi. "The door of drawings. If it opens, every drawing will come alive." Momo's eyes became wide. Every drawing? Every drawing? That would be terrible. He had drawn hundreds of things over the years. Monsters, aliens, pirates, robots, ghosts, and one very silly chicken with 3 heads. The pencil suddenly pointed toward the hill outside town. A bright golden light appeared there. A giant door was slowly rising from the ground. It was taller than any building. It was covered with glowing pictures. The dragon looked worried. The dinosaur looked worried. Momo looked worried. Diddi looked worried. Then, the giant door began opening. A small crack appeared. Golden light poured out. And from inside the crack, a tiny purple creature climbed out. It looked harmless. It looked cute. It looked friendly. The creature smiled. Then it pulled out a giant hammer. "Oh," said Diddi, "that is not good." The creature whistled. Suddenly, hundreds of other creatures began coming through the crack. Monsters, robots, pirates, aliens, animals, living drawings from everywhere. The door of drawings was opening, and the real trouble was about to begin. The giant door of drawings continued opening. More creatures came out. Funny monsters, tiny robots, pirates, aliens, flying cats, three-headed chickens. The town was in chaos. People ran everywhere. Momo looked worried. "This is all my fault." Diddi shook his head. "We can still fix it." "But how?" asked Momo. Then the magic pencil began glowing again. The mysterious voice spoke. "The pencil can create. The pencil can also undo." Momo suddenly understood. "We need to draw something." "What?" asked Diddi. Momo thought for a moment. Then he smiled. "I know exactly what to draw." He picked up the magic pencil. The dragon and dinosaur protected him. The dragon blew bubbles at the creatures. The dinosaur chased them away with its giant tail. Momo quickly opened the drawing book. He began drawing. Everyone watched. He drew a giant golden key. A very special key. The drawing glowed. Pop! The key became real. It was huge, almost as tall as Diddi. "The key!" shouted Diddi. Momo and Diddi dragged the key toward the giant door. It was heavy, very heavy. The dragon helped. The dinosaur helped. Together they reached the door. The golden key fit perfectly. Click! The door began closing. Slowly, very slowly, the creatures started running back. The robots jumped inside. The pirates sailed back. The aliens flew back. Even the three-headed chicken ran back. Soon only the dragon and dinosaur remained. Momo smiled at them. "You can stay." The dragon looked happy. The dinosaur looked happy too, but the pencil started glowing once more. The voice spoke softly. "All drawings must return." The dragon lowered its head. The dinosaur looked sad. Momo felt sad too. "You have to go?" The dragon nodded. The dinosaur nodded. Momo hugged the dinosaur's leg. Diddi hugged the dragon's tail. "Thank you for helping us," said Diddi. The dragon smiled. The dinosaur smiled. Then they walked back through the door. The door slowly closed. Click! The golden light disappeared. Everything became quiet. The town was safe again. Momo looked at the magic pencil. The pencil no longer glowed. It looked like an ordinary pencil now. "Is the magic gone?" asked Diddi. "I think so," said Momo. Suddenly, a tiny drawing appeared beside them. It was the smiling fish from the classroom. The fish winked. Then it jumped into a nearby pond. Splash! Momo and Diddi laughed. Maybe a little magic is still left. The two friends walked home together. It had been a very strange day, but it was also a very exciting one, and it was a day they would never forget. The end. Did you enjoy the magic pencil? What would you draw if you had a magic pencil? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fun adventures with Momo and Diddi. See you in the next story.